So in terms of capability, I'll tell you the most interesting finding here. Organizations have this belief that to deploy a team, let's bring all the stars, the best that we can find, let's put them together, and we send them on. Data's coming in now that says, actually, that when you put all stars, performance goes down. In Wall Street, we're finding that a lot. And the reason for that is that you want some people who are collective-oriented. So collective orientation is at this position. All of you, trust me, all of you have at this position. Either you're collective-oriented or you're egocentric. If you're collective-oriented, you want to be in teams, you like being in teams, you value the input from others, all the stuff. If you're egocentric, you're this lone wolf that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they never engage in collective activity. The bad news is that this is a selection issue. So lots of industries are trying to develop a test to select people who are collective-oriented. The airlines, the military, and guess who? AAMC, the American Association of American Colleges. In 2019, maybe 2020, 2021, they're working on a test for medical students that will have to pass this teamwork test to get into medical school. What do you think about that? So let me give you an example also that's fascinating, sports, if you allow me. So I was reading Michael Jordan's biography. And there was a paragraph that caught my attention. Essentially, he said something like, it wasn't until we got Scottie Pippen to play for the Bulls that we start winning championships. And if you know anything about basketball, which I hope you do because this is Wisconsin, Scottie Pippen, never a high scorer, great defensive player, but he always had high assists. Michael Jordan, to win championships, the star, the scorer, needed somebody who was collective-oriented. So you need some of these people who are going to provide the assists, help you, help the team. Okay? Psychological safety. This is also cooperation. This is something that I hope you pay a lot of attention. Psychological safety is the license that you have to speak up. Sooner or later, all teams have conflicts. And the only way you can resolve a conflict is if you have psychological safety. That you're going to engage in this tough, difficult conversation because we have to, for the patient, for whatever the goal is. And at the end, we're going to be okay. So this is what psychological safety is. Now, big meta-analysis just came out. They found that psychological safety leads to, of course, better performance, leads to learned behaviors. People learn. Your team learns because you're free to talk about difficult issues. More satisfaction. OCBs stands for Organizational Citizenship Behaviors. Essentially, people are nice to each other at work. Now, you might want to say, how do you get psychological safety? The leader, your coach, sets the tone for whether you're going to have psychological safety or not. Peer support. We're going to engage in this conversation. It's difficult, tough for us, but at the end, we can still go and have a beer. So I trust that we'll have this difficult conversation, but we'll be okay interpersonally. And the final is role clarity, because role clarity defines the boundaries of how much you can discuss and how much you want to bring up. And that's what Google found to be the big differentiator between their studies. Psychological safety. This is going to sound funny, but if you Google psychological safety, it will take you to a website where they have all these checklists and guidelines and principles that they want to provide their teams so that they can engage in psychological safety. This is the biggest problem in healthcare, that you have to have this psychological safety to speak up. So psychological safety is about trust. So I want to make a little distinction, and I hope you picked up the difference. Trust is when you give the benefit of doubt to others. Psychological safety is when others give you the benefit of the doubt. And that's what you want.